Okay, I'm here with Paul Smith, CEO of Phoenix. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
There's been a lot on the conference here in Delhi about pharmacists and GP collaboration. Some pharmacists are a bit unsure how that process is going to take place. Some even perhaps don't want to collaborate. Is that an anxiety for you, as far as community pharmacy is concerned?
I wouldn't say an anxiety. I think that everybody looking at change always has an issue with how change affects them. What do they do? How do they offer leadership to their businesses? I think it's easier for us to see a future for pharmacy because we're involved much more in maybe some of the wider ranging topics. I think if you are operating in your own shop, in your own environment, I think it's quite a scary process to look at change. And I think that what we're trying to do, and obviously what Newmark is trying to do, is deliver an opportunity to say, look outside of what you're doing, this is some leadership towards change. I think as they experience today, some experience from Rowlands and how that business is changing to interact with their customers, should hopefully frame some of that change for most of the members and say, deliver that change, move forward and do something about change. But change is coming and it is a constant. It is going to happen to you, but don't be left behind either. Don't be afraid of that. And there's also help to get you to that process as well.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Obviously, the big thing is the GP pharmacy, GPs are going to be commissioning everything now. They have the hold of the budget, and pharmacists are quite concerned they might be left out in the cold, some community pharmacists. Can you understand that sort of worry on their behalf?
I can excuse me. I can understand that there's slightly. I don't believe they should be worried. I think the point's been very well made that pharmacy is hugely part of the forthcoming agenda. It has to be part of that access agenda. And if it's not going to, it's just got to step up and do it now. You know, there's too many signs, and pharmacy cannot be ignored in that process. GPs are going through the same process. They're having to change fundamentally about what they do, and point of access of care will change fundamentally for everybody in healthcare. And therefore, pharmacy is well cemented in that process and has to just say, we're part of it, we want to be part of it, get engaged.
Sure, yeah. There's so many different bodies, regulating pharmacy. I mean, is community pharmacy hindered by a lack of decisive leadership as reforms kick in?
I think pharmacy for years has been hindered by that process. I think some of you look at the BMA, for instance, who you get one voice, the same in other nurses, etc. They have one voice, somebody talks to them. I think pharmacy has a bit of an issue because who does talk for it? Newmark is very involved in what independence require. And I think pharmacy needs independence to be a vibrant marketplace. It shouldn't just be on what is being said by the multiples. Multiples will lead in some way, but are certainly not the whole picture for pharmacy. They need possibly a better voice in what we're doing as independence. And Newmark is and will set out to provide that voice and leadership to the future. But pharmacy will probably always have a slightly divided voice anyhow because of the makeup of pharmacy today and the commerciality that makes up pharmacy today.
Yes, yeah. So, in short, these changing times for pharmacy and health service, is it a time of tremendous opportunity for pharmacy, or is it a time of great uncertainty? How would you look at that?
Only opportunity. I think if you look at how patients need to access healthcare, it cannot happen in secondary care. It has to happen in primary care. Pharmacies can do much more about that process. Government recognise that funding about all that process will take place. And why should you not be excited about being involved? I think you've just got to step up and say, I want to be involved. Make sure locally people know you want to be involved and then get on and do it.
Yes, yeah, fantastic. Just briefly, Phoenix, what's their sort of direction for 2011? What's sort of the thrust of their goals?
Good question. You get into Phoenix as a wider organisation. Certainly, some of what I'll talk about on Thursday is reduced wholesaling models. You get into where supply comes from, who's going to channel supply, who's interested in supply, who should make the decisions about supply. But somebody's making decisions, and that's very interesting about where the decisions are being made, and not all of that, I would hazard a guess, is good for pharmacy or good for actual healthcare. I don't believe in a single channel supply, but some pushes that way. There should always be competition. I think when you look at Phoenix, we're very happy about our position today with Newmark. We have other organisations and membership organisations that we do with GPs, family planning clinics, all these kind of things that we're very much involved in the healthcare agenda. Our involvement in RX systems, as you saw with EMIS, is very exciting going forward, but we're involved in that. Training side of it, Buttercups as well, we're involved in that, and we're involved in lots of partnerships that we believe make up a healthcare process for us. Rowlands is very strong for us as well, and again we share that information across all of our group businesses. We don't operate in a silo approach, so I think that benefits all of our businesses in understanding what's next and what leadership we offer.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for joining me, Paul, today.
Always a pleasure.
Brilliant. Thank you.